What's going on? What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Brian here, about to give you some critical information on the top 4 things you should be investing in right now. Oh, by the way, www.militarythemillionairebrand.com and get your merch. It ain't about me. With your support, hey, it funds the channel. And I can give you more good information. All right, and then also, I don't go by military millionaire. I've been having people call me that, but that ain't what it is. It's about y'all. Anybody can be a military to millionaire. So my name is Brian. You can call me that, and we'll be good to go. So without further ado, top 4 things you should be invested in right now. Number 1, being TSP. TSP stands for Thrift Savings Plan. You know, it actually gives you the opportunity to invest in the market while you're active duty and have some money for retirement. Okay. So with the Thrift Savings Plan, they have something called individual funds, and then they have life cycle funds. I'm going to talk about the individual funds right now. If you sign up for TSP, majority of all your money will go to the G fund, unless you log in and make those adjustments to send them to different type of funds, split them up by percentages. Okay. The G fund, I like to call it as a savings fund, because the money, it really ain't moved. It's just the safest way to save money, because it's actually in a short-term treasury, which it just goes up some cents, goes up some cents. That's about it, depending on how much money you have in it. Okay. The second fund is the F fund, which is the bond index. Once again, slow, steady, going up. Now that C fund, that tracks the S&P 500. The S&P 500 has an annual rate of return of 7% per year, and it's been consistent. So that's where you begin to make your money, right there. Okay. The next fund is the S fund, which tracks the Dow Jones. The annual return of the Dow Jones is 5.2%. So actually, no, 5.42%. That's the annual return of the Dow Jones. Okay. Once again, you're making money. The next one is the I fund. I like to call it the International Fund, but technically it's the MSCI, overseas. Look at it like that. Australia, Europe, places like that. It's not tracking anything in the US as far as stock wise. So look at I call it international. Okay. What I personally did while I was active duty is I invested in my TSP. I had 15% going to the traditional and 10% going to Roth the whole time. So that's what I pretty much did. So that's the first thing you need to have, a TSP account, and you're invested in it, and you're logging in and actually changing what percentages you want to go to your individual type funds. Okay. The second thing you need to have, of course, is another brokerage account, a separate one. Like I use Fidelity. When you use Fidelity to actually purchase or trade stocks, you actually are giving yourself the power to actually purchase individual stocks, whether it be like Apple, Tesla, Amazon, any up and coming stock, Shopify. I'm just telling you some of the stuff that I was heavily invested in. And you get the control to purchase 1, 2 shares, 25 shares, whatever you can afford, but just as long as you stay consistent with it. That gives you the power to do what you need to do within the stock market as well as an individual. Okay? Third thing you need is a cryptocurrency portfolio. Okay? Cryptocurrency, what I currently use is Coinbase. I know you got some other different ones out there, but me, I use Coinbase. Only negative stigma I can say about Coinbase is they like to get coins late. Actually, they like to get quality coins. And once the coins start doing numbers and actually, performing, then they'll add it to add it to Coinbase. That's the only thing. So they be kind of late in the game for me because, for example, if you got a coin out there that's was 2 cents, and then Coinbase decide to add it to the platform when it's 25%, you see how much money you missed out on? But what a lot of people do is they'll have Coinbase and then they'll have another platform to actually get all these coins early. And then you can get in there with those. Me, I use Coinbase and I run with that. So I know you're probably thinking, okay, what are you investing in on your Coinbase? On my Coinbase, I invest in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I have Meta right now, which is Decentraland, and I have Solana, I have Algorand, I have some XRP too. Before, but right now it's actually restricted. You can't purchase any on Coinbase right now. So I actually purchased that on Coinbase before it was restricted. But they're going through some legal issues right now. But once they get over that, trust me, to the moon, so they say. Okay, so that's real quick on that. Number 4, you need to have a real estate portfolio, i.e., purchasing a home. If you're on active duty, you should be purchasing a home. And then you should be able to purchase another home when you get transferred to another duty station. And so on, and so on, and so on. So say, for instance, you'd have been to 5 duty stations. You should at least have 5 houses, minimum. That's the proper way to do it. Okay? Now, this is an example. When you can afford to live out in town, you actually going to be able to purchase a house. I recommend that. Don't rent nothing. But if you need to rent, you can rent. That's cool. It's nothing against renting. I have nothing against it. But when you live out in town, you purchase your home, cool, you living in it for the whole time you're on active duty for 4 years. Now it's time for you to change locations. You change locations. You put your home up for rent. You get a tenant in there. And then you go to your next duty station. Okay, once you get settled in, you purchase your next home. Now you're living in that for 3 years or 4 years or whatever. And now it's time for you to transfer to another duty station. Guess what you do? You rent that house out. Get another tenant in there. And now you have 2 rental properties. Okay, next duty station, same scenario. You keep repeating the cycle. I know everybody's saying, so what if you get stationed in the same area? Again, do the same thing. Now it's time for you to be looking for a new house. And your goal is to rent that house out. That's all you have to do. Just keep repeating that cycle until you actually building up a real estate portfolio. Okay? And that's the top 4 things you should be doing right now. Number 1, TSP. Number 2, a brokerage account, whether it be Fidelity or Ameritrade or Vanguard. 3, cryptocurrency, i.e. Coinbase. 4, real estate. Keep it simple. Well, also with your real estate, I know people's thinking, well, I can just Airbnb it. Cool. That's a whole nother video to talk about when you get into the Airbnb business. It's very profitable too. You can make a lot of money doing that. So, but this is just something to actually gauge you on what you should be working on, whether you're active duty, retired, or even a veteran. These are the top 4 things you should be investing in. Believe it or not, you got a lot of people out here that's just not even investing, so they actually just losing money, just letting it sit into your savings account or a checking account. So it's a lot of things we're battling with right now with inflation and stuff like that. You know, if inflation is at 6%, but your pay raise is only 3%, you're still below the line. And a lot of people don't realize that. So that's the deal with that. So I'm going to talk about other things that I'll be talking about in the future is actually day trading. Okay, actually trading stocks in the market and actually doing options and puts. That's in the future, but that's definitely in the works. I also intend on starting a podcast as well. Don't quote me on that, but I'm gonna be having a few guests on board and stuff like that. But I will not start my podcast unless I continue my promise and be a guest speaker on 3 other platforms that want me to be a guest speaker on their podcast. So I won't start mine unless I fulfill what I needed to do, because they did ask me to be a guest, and I will get that done. So I've just been a little bit busy lately with a few other moves I'm trying to make with other properties and, you know, other investment ideas as well. So that's what I'm going through right now. Getting a call. All right, so I'm just going to keep it short and sweet, straight to the point. Remember, go out, do your research, do your due diligence, but I just gave you the top 4 things you should be investing in right now. I'm repeating again. TSP, brokerage account, which is the stock market, Fidelity, American Trade, Vanguard, something. You need a brokerage account. 3, cryptocurrency. You need a Coinbase account or Binance or whatever platform you want to use. Get into the crypto space. 4, real estate. Get into it. Get you some property. That's all I got.